What's up everybody, the Blue Fang here, and today I'm gonna do something a bit different just for my 4.6k subscriber special. Also, thanks so much for getting me this far since we're really close to 5k subscribers, and that's actually my goal for this year. So when I hit that, I'm just gonna say let's try to get to 10k by the end of this year, or maybe around January next year. So today I'll be talking about my top 5 anime/manga protagonists. This list will also be based on opinion and quality, so if you don't agree on this list, it's fine. This is just my personal opinion on how I see these characters. Also, in the next couple of weeks, you might see some different kinds of videos with what ifs as well. I'll try to experiment with them, and if they don't go all too well, then I'll make my videos on a second channel. But that's just gonna be my different kind of videos, but my what ifs will stay on my main channel, which is this channel, so don't worry. Now before I get into this top 5, subscribe if you're new, hit that like button and turn on bell notifications. So if no further ado, let's get into the video. So first I'm gonna say some honorable mentions that couldn't make it to my top 5, but I still love these characters. First is Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist. He was a really cool protagonist and gave us something a bit different to the shonen protagonist role. Next is Guts from Berserk. I haven't really gotten that far into Berserk, but I know that Guts seems like such a good main character, so I had to mention him. Naruto is also an honorable mention. I think he's good for what he's meant to be, but I just couldn't see him being a top 5 material. Another one is Son Goku, and well, he's iconic, and I just couldn't forget about mentioning him. Now that I've talked about my honorable mentions, let's just get right into my real top 5. Starting off at number 5 is Gon Freaks from Hunter x Hunter. So anyone who has watched or read Hunter x Hunter would know that Gon would have to be in the top 10 or top 5 of someone's list for main characters. Seeing how Gon changed from a happy, optimistic person to a dark, selfish vengeance seeker was really cool to watch along. Also, the way he sacrificed his Nen just to beat Pito was an intense moment, and that scene alone is my number 1 favorite anime scene/episode that I've ever watched. Something else I have to add is how his friendship with Killer was phenomenal, and it was really well developed upon the time Hunter x Hunter was going on. But as a fan of the show and manga, it was sad to see them leave each other's side, and also sad to see how this damn manga is still on a hiatus. But I won't get into that in this video. Maybe on another video I'll talk about Hunter x Hunter's hiatus. But really, Gon is such a great character, and I might make a full-fledged analysis on him in later videos, and maybe even a what if on him as well. So now that I've talked about my 5th spot, my 4th spot goes to Light Yagami. Okay, there might be a few slight spoilers coming off since there's a lot to talk about Light's character. So starting off, this guy was amazing, and the ending of Death Note was actually good in my opinion, and Light got what he deserved after all he has done. But I do respect what he had done with the Death Note, with killing all the criminals and taking away most crimes in Japan. Also, his dynamic with L was such a good rivalry, and Nia could never replace L as Light's rival in the end. Another thing that I liked about Light Yagami is how his development into a psychotic murderer was. As soon as he got the Death Note from episode 1, he went from killing criminals to killing anyone and anyone who would disturb his role as the so-called god of his new world. I'd say Light was an anti-hero at first, then became more of a villain as the series progressed. But that's just my opinion, and I hear a lot of people say that Light is an anti-hero from start to end, which I really don't agree on. But overall, Light is such a good character, and I really love how all protagonists don't have to be all good and stuff, and they could be bad like Light. Okay, so up next in 3rd place is another anti-hero protagonist, which is the one and only Lelouch Vi Britannia from Code Geass. If you haven't seen Code Geass, don't worry, I won't spoil anything from the anime, but if I do, I'll be sure to put a spoiler warning around when I'm editing. But Lelouch's character is insane, as he's an anti-hero who is fueled by revenge and lies. I swear the ending he got is probably one of the best character endings I've ever seen, and as he says, to defeat evil, he would have to become a greater evil, and he did this to carry out Zero Requiem. His character in Code Geass was really well presented, and the way he uses his Geass was exciting. Again, if you haven't watched it, this is kind of a slight spoiler, but I wouldn't call it one, as he gets this ability literally in the 1st episode. But the Gears is an ability Lelouch uses to control how a person acts and famously commands them to do something that he wants. He also used the Gears on himself in a way that was really smart and surprising to find out. Light and Lelouch are usually compared in some way, but in my opinion, Lelouch is a better character, and with adding to that, Lelouch's ending was much better, but like I said before, I still like the Death Note ending. Another reason why he's in this spot is because how human he is even though he has the Gears. If you've watched the anime, you would see all the challenges and sacrifices he has gone through and made, which was really impressive for him to go through while continuing his goal. Coming up next in the number 2 spot on this list is none other than my favorite member of the Joestar family, which is Johnny Joestar, the protagonist of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7 Steel Ball Run, aka the best part. Still love all the parts in a certain way though. So Johnny Joestar hit different for me in some way that made him second on my list. So Johnny being a cripple could easily mean that he has nothing special and that he can't do anything. But thanks to his horse Slow Dancer, and we have to appreciate it, cause we were able to see him journey across America in the Steel Ball Run race, also seeing him develop on the way. I won't say too many spoilers as I'm just talking about his character and not about how insane this part was. So Johnny Joestar is way different than the other Joestars, with him being ruthless and unmerciful during the race. I would say he's actually a neutral character and not an anti-hero. The reason I would say this is because the people who read this part saw him do his goal just for himself and himself only. But we saw him work with the best JoJo character, aka Gyro Zappelli, and the way their bond was handled was pretty amazing. I would say the friendship is around the level as Gon and Killua, but seeing Gon and Killua act was really amazing, so I'd say the second place on the friendship levels. Usually people turn Johnny off because he's shown to be selfish or having a bad goal. These people tend to forget about what his character is out to be. Having become a cripple and rejected by everyone around him, he has every right to have those qualities inside of him. Plus, Johnny's journey to find a goal in life was to make him feel alive in some way or form, since he had already given up on his past life. Another thing I would like to add is that he has no doubt the best development out of all of the JoJo protagonists, also having to be the most interesting one as well. Now, as I move on to my number 1 protagonist, I would like to say a few more last honorable mentions for this list. These mentions are for characters that were not as good as the mentions I said last time, or I haven't watched enough of them already, but I still enjoyed them a lot. So Ichigo Kurosaki from Bleach was pretty cool and I enjoyed him for what he is. But he had just a lot of plot armor, especially when he was up against the captains in the Soul Society arc. Another one would be Asta from Black Clover. He's good, but I don't see him beating out the mentions I said or anyone in my picks earlier. A last honorable mention goes to Gintoki from Gintama, just because I haven't seen too many episodes from Gintama to rank him just yet. So at my number 1, I have Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan, or Shingeki no Kyojin. I swear, when I started Attack on Titan, I never thought Eren would be my favorite protagonist from all of anime/manga. But it could change depending on the ending or when I dive into other anime or manga. But seriously, Eren is amazing, and I'm not talking about the one from season 1 to 3. The Eren I'm talking about is from season 4. But don't click off this just yet because I won't say any spoilers for the upcoming season. But all I have to say is that the time Attack on Titan comes out, the year will be the year for Attack on Titan. It's gonna be the anime of the year, I bet you that. And also, Eren would be one of your favorites, or if not your favorite character, or one of your most hated characters. It goes either way depending on your preference on the character Eren is going to evolve into. I might do a whole video talking about Eren's character change. It depends on whether some people have read the manga or not. But all I'm going to say for now is that Eren becomes an actual Chad, and I'm not even lying. But as well as I love his season 4 character, I don't hate his past season selves as well. A lot of people tend to hate the screaming he always used to do earlier, which really made everyone not like him as much as other protagonists. I don't blame the guys who didn't like him, it's because he was acting like a generic shonen protagonist. But that's fine, cause we saw him grow as the series progressed on. Seeing him also always getting captured sometimes wasn't all too bad as well, as we got something much different than the OP protagonists that always win. Again, I'll dive deeper into his character in another video as I'm trying to avoid spoiling that much of his character change. So before I accidentally spoil anything from season 4 of Attack on Titan, I'll just go ahead and end the video right here. So thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe if you're new, hit the like button and turn on bell notifications. Also, I recommend any of the shows I've mentioned in this video if you haven't watched them already. So it's been the Blue Fang, peace.